Grand Rising Soul Tribe, Tracy here with Sweet Spot e-magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, shares, views, subscribes, the comments, donations, everything. I appreciate it all. Let's go ahead and ring the bell. Let's clear out this energy this morning, and then we'll see what the message the Spirit has for us. Someone has come into the realization that they did way too much. They spent a lot of time, a lot of energy trying to bring you down, trying to make it seem like you were less than, acting like they was never going to ever need you, only to find out they need you. Hola, Marcia. Yes, live. Hey, sis. See, it's like this is a lesson for someone. Careful how you treat people. Because the same person that you mistreat today could be that one person that is the only one that's able to help you tomorrow. Hey, Grand Rising, K Hypsee. Bottom of the deck. Someone is curious. They don't know how this happened. They just knew that they was going to be going along, doing their thing. They could put you down. They could make you the brunt of the butt. The butt of the joke. They could blame everything on you, say everything was your fault. They could cast you out. They could try and make other people cast you out, look negative about you, talk horrible about you. Because at one point they were up here. And they looked at you thinking that you was down here. You was never down there. It's just that this person didn't realize that they peaked early in life. They peaked. And what goes up must come down. Hey, Lightworker William. Hey, Create. So now they're curious about how things change so quickly. And why they acted so rash. Why they were feeling like they could just go out there and say something like this. Person is now realizing they should have sat back. They should have just chill before they had so much to say about you. Like I said, this is somebody that brought you a lot of conflict, even though you were so compassionate, even though you tried to get along with people, even though you was the person that would, try and smooth out the situation. Hey, let's talk about this. Let's figure out what's really going on. But this person just did all this. They did too much. They allowed their mouth to write a check they ass can't cash. And now that mouth wrote a check, they can't get out of this. Hey, the soul archetype. They're stuck. And everybody sees it. Everything is out in the open as what somebody was trying to do to you. And everything that this person did, it was to try and bring you down. It was to try, and like I said, this person lied about you. They tried to burden you. They tried to have other people come against you. And this is the one partnership that would have done anything for them. They should have tried to work with you. They should have stood beside you. They should have had your back. But they didn't feel like they needed to. Hey, J Mike. Hey, Baby Yoda speaks. Oh, wait. No, not speaks. Baby Yoda peak. I'll get Pico Kin. Hey, Love Ruled Supreme. This is somebody that they should have had some logic when it came to being with you or dealing with you, because this person should have seen that you was going to be something. Because you know what? You always talked about what you were going to do in life, but they thought that you was one of those people that was like, you know what? When I grow up, I'm going to learn how to fly. That's not you. You was always very grounded. You didn't think that you could do some shit that nobody else could do because you knew Superman wasn't real. You were somebody that said, you know what? I'm going to pace myself, and in a few years, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to open up a company, or I'm going to help people, or I'm going to be a counselor, or I'm going to sell widgets and gadgets, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to do, you were one of those type of people that was realistic. And it's like, I guess they thought because it didn't happen overnight that you was never going to be about it. You was always going to be about it, but you know what? Good things happen in time. And now that you've cut this person out of your life, and you're happy with where you're at and who you are, and you found yourself again, now that people will see that not only are you abundant, not only did you create this new opportunity for yourself, and not only are you standing in your money, using your gifts, exercising your power, doing the damn thing, now this person feels like a fool. They feel like a fool because they allowed their ego to shout from the rooftops. They allowed themselves to feel like they was bigger than what they really were. Like I said, this person, they may have peaked early in life, but once you peak early in life, things start going down. Because once like with football players, it's the intelligent football player that it says, you know what? I know I'm 23, 24, 27, 28, and I'm making all these millions of dollars now, but I'm not going to be able to keep up these hard hits and all this practice and all this. One of these days, I'm going to retire. I'm going to want to retire from that sport. And it's going to be the intelligent football player that says, hey, but I'm going to have to come up with a backup plan. I'm going to have to think about, in order for me to keep the same amount of money coming in, I need to do this. I need to get my education. I need to invest in this. I need to start this. I need to do something extra besides just running out on the field, Monday night football, Sunday football, Wednesday football, and the crowd goes wild. Hey! But then whenever you get hurt and everybody's like, oh, feel better. And they're like, well, so-and-so, they're not getting picked anymore. And this team is trading them to this team, but this team traded them to this team, and this team traded them to this team, or nobody's accepting their trade offer any longer. Hey, Robert. Hey, Melissa. See, somebody should have, they refused to think that, each person has their day, and each dog has their day too. It was a fantasy for them to think that they was always going to be at the top. And it was a fantasy for them to think that you was never going to reach the top. Hey, Shaylin. See, you always felt in your heart, in your soul, and in your spirit that something better was coming for you. You just knew it wasn't your time yet. Hey, Addie. Because you believed in divine timing. And you, guess what? When they reached their peak, you clapped for them. You was like, bravo, bravo. Keep it up. Yeah, do it, do it. You clapped for them. And while you was clapping for them, they had the nerve to look down on you. Mm. Mm. Now this person is trying to fight against something that's so painful for them. Because you know what? Life came and had pulled out the sharpest of the sharpest of the sharpest of needles and popped that big ass ego balloon. And as they felt the pop, they heard the pop, but their head was so big they couldn't see where the pop came from until everything started shrinking and dwindling and the air started coming out. Hey, LP. And now this person is stuck, looking all dried, shriveled up, looking like, you know how you blow a balloon up and it's nice and big and shiny and kind of taut, you know? And then once you pop that sucker is this big and looks all dried and shriveled and parts of it is sticking to the other part and you trying to pull it together and it just looks, the more you touch it, the worse it looks. Somebody didn't know that they was getting ready to be a popped balloon. You see, this is somebody who did you wrong, or they talked about you, or they were so intent on just keeping up this facade, this lies, you know, about you. This person never thought that, you know, that decision was going to come back to hurt them. They never thought that they was going to need you. They never thought that you was going to be seen as a brighter light than they ever were. They thought, well, my light bulb turned on to an 8. That's great. You were glad when their light bulb turned on to an 8. Now they're seeing that your light bulb turns on to a 12. See, this person should have exercised some caution. They should have stopped talking a long time ago, because what they should have done was fear that they weren't always going to be on top. This person should have used some discernment about everything that they tried to do to bring you down, everything that they tried to do to make you look a certain way. Well, now this person is in a situation. Either their health is bad, their finances are fucked up, something has happened to their car, to their home, to their own spirit or their confidence. And this person is facing some hardships. And not only are they facing hardships, but you know, those same people that they try to place above you, oh, you don't need collective. You're better than collective. Oh, stop. You know, I'm going to make sure that you always know that you are better than collective. Them same people that they bigged up are the same people that was like, I don't have time to help you. Hey, you told me long time ago I was better. So if I'm better than collective, I'm also better than you. You should have just kept your shit up. Kind of puts me in the mind of an older person nearing the end of their life. Hey, high priestess. You know how you have that mother that has a few children, and that one child There's always seems like there's one child that's the scapegoat. That's the one that's looked at as that was our wild one. That's the one that we always felt that the sheriff was gonna knock on the door saying that wild one is dead. That's the one that always comes in and saves the day. Hey, Carla. See, this is somebody, like I said, like it could have been somebody's mother that never thought that you was ever going to reach anything, that didn't put into you, that tried to block you, that tried to stop you, that tried to kind of get in your way so that you didn't ever reach that brightness as a 12 shining bright like a motherfucking diamond. They didn't know that you was going to be that person, the star of the entire family, until after you left. And now this person is thinking about, the family and what they did, what she did, or what this person did in the past to make you feel like you weren't even a part of, which is possibly why you left. Now somebody understands clearly what they've done. And it's sad because you know what? They also understand clearly how much they need you. And when they think back on it, everybody else that they bigged up, everybody else that they tried to, you even though you're reaching your sixth potential, you are still better than the collective. I don't want you to ever think that just because you could get up to a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, that you're below collective. Nope, you are always going to be above collective. And now they see that, you know what? You recalibrated the scale. They had to upgrade the scale just to include you because you had bypassed the 10 and you reached the 12. So that's why they had to say, no, we got to come up with a new scale now because collective is busting out. They busted the glass ceiling. They did this. They're higher than that. They are the brightest star up there. Somebody's watching you over the internet. Yes, soul type, I do. The soul archetype, I do like poetry. Somebody's watching you on the internet and they're thinking about how they lost, how they are at a loss, not just a loss of words, but how they are at a loss of feeling confident, how they are at a loss because everyone else that they tried to place over you, those people aren't even helping them. How they are at a loss for everything. They're even at a loss as how they gonna make it from one day to the next day. They're realizing not only are they at a loss, but how much they lost. This person thought that they was always going to be on the winning end, that they was going to spend their last days enjoying everything about their life as long as it took them to cast you down, put you down, cast you out, and make everybody else feel like they was better than you. They was gonna feel good about that shit. But something about God given the toughest battles to the strongest. This person didn't realize that God gave the toughest battle to the strongest. And so God had this plan that this person couldn't see, had no clue, because it was a test for them. It wasn't just a test for you. It was a victory for you in the making. It was a testimony in you for you in the making, but it was a test for them. Hey, straight cheese. It was to see how this person treated everyone, not just their favorites. Everyone. You know, this person, one thing that they lacked, they now see this, one thing they lacked was courage. The courage to deal with themselves inside. The courage to feel like, okay, so I don't feel this good about myself, and this is why I'm trying to put this one down. The courage to see that, you know what, they all need to have an even playing field. The courage to see that, you know what, I grew up and I felt this way, but let me get help for me so that I'm not passing on these bad behaviors, these bad thoughts, this bad whatever to somebody else that doesn't deserve it. They're realizing they lacked courage. Now they're seeing that they should have been trying to work with you. They should have been trying to collaborate on with you. They should have been trying to make sure that you had, that you need, that you felt, that you saw, instead of giving you some bullshit ass answers of, the reason that I'm not trying to encourage you is because I felt out of everybody you could do it on your own. And so I left you to do it on your own. And so God said, okay, I hear you. I see you. That's the answer that you're going to say. You didn't help collective because you felt the collective could do it on their own. Okay. We'll have collective do it on their own. But when the time comes around for you to need, remember that. I'm going to let you do it on your own too. Hey, chosen one. So now somebody's going within and they have no choice but to go within and to look at themselves, to look at what they have done, to look at who they have become out of all this time. Because they never, ever, ever decided to straighten up and fly right. They was always kind of going a little crooked. Their wings was always flapping a little weird. They never wanted to straighten up and fly right. This person was never in pursuit of the truth, but you were. You were always in pursuit of the truth. You were always willing to work for yours. In fact, you had to work harder. Like they say, work smarter and not harder. Well, when you tried to work smarter, this person purposely put shit in your way so that you had to work harder, which actually meant that you were smarter. then there came a time that you finally reached that place in your life that you took control of your own life. That you finally got that company, started that business, got that position at that job that placed you above, that placed you in a level of responsibility that nobody else in that same family or group ever reached. It was because of the choices and the decisions that you made. It was because of your planning. It was because of your generosity. Because no matter what anyone else did, you clapped for their successes. And they tried to confirmation block yours. Now this person is wanting to send a message. Now they want to balance things out with you because they are in lack. They are at a loss. And they realize how much they lost. Especially whenever they're looking at you. You're somebody that is an inspiration to so many other people. You're someone that comes up with a plan. You have the knowledge. You know how to get the job done. You're not afraid to put in the hard work because you always had to work hard to get to where you're at. Judgment has been called. Not by you, but by God. Hey, Naveen Kumara, how are you? Hey, Lilo. Judgment's been called because you were always a wise one. Always the wise one. Always the fair one. And you moved forward in spite of those secret enemies, in spite of those things that were meant to take you down and to hold you down, not just take you down, but they tried to hold you down so that you couldn't move. They're like, dog pile, everybody get on top. Put the weights on so that we could apply more pressure. They tried to end you. End everything about you. They didn't want anyone to even remember you to speak good about you, let alone speak highly of your name, speak highly of your character, or speak what you brought to the table. But you know what? One thing they couldn't speak about was the fact that you didn't have a problem working. That you were always going to be that successful business person. You was always going to reach your star potential. Because if one thing you had, it was passion. Passion for yourself. Passion for your future. It was passion. Hello, Milky. Hey, Brenda. And see, now this person, they're thinking about their evil ways. They're thinking about their evil deeds. They're thinking about how they was just so evil towards you. And like they said in the past, the reason I never helped you is because I felt you was strong enough to do it on your own. Now it's coming back for them. Their evil deeds. And if you listen close enough, you can hear that rooster coming home to roost. Cock-a-doodle-doo. That's what they hear when they wake up in the morning. And they're realizing they fucked up. They screwed their entire life. Not just screwed their entire life, they screwed the pooch. See, they celebrated and put all their time and energy over there, never thinking that that action that they did was going to come back on them, that it is going to end up casting them a horrible reaction. They never felt that you was going to be the one that end up in victory with everything that you could possibly want and need. And we're not painting no fantasy pictures here to think that you don't have to get down and dirty sometimes and do the shit that you don't want to do. But the thing is, you do it. And it was the way that you do it, with respect, with dignity, treating everybody as if they are an equal. Not acting like somebody is beneath someone else, because you know that there is no one else that's beneath anyone else. Everyone is equal. This is what places you above others in a spiritual sense. This is why somebody can see, yes, you know what? We should have been acting more righteous like collective. We should have celebrated, or we should have even thought about, you know what? If collective is an earth angel, we should be more like an earth angel too. We should just do the hard work, because it's so easy to do the wrong shit, especially when you're around somebody else that's doing some wrong shit. Because then they're like, "Ooh, I like you better because you know what? You're evil and vindictive just like me. So I can relate to you, but it's just this righteous one. Ugh. Ugh. Uh-uh." See, somebody's now exploring why they don't feel good, how they missed the mark. And it's because the mark was right in front of them. But they tried to think that it was a different type of mark. They thought that you was the target, as opposed to someone that they needed to really look at. What's the message, Spirit? What's the message? Yeah. Somebody did not exercise any caution whatsoever. They didn't care. They didn't. When I say they didn't care, what I really mean to say is they didn't give a fuck. They was going to try and take you down. They didn't give a fuck about you. They never spoke highly of you. They wanted every confirmation. They just wanted people to forget about you. What's the message, Spirit? Yeah. Like I said, now it's them. They're feeling it. They're feeling it big time. Everything that they did. And they didn't think that this conflict was getting ready to come right back on them. They didn't think that. You know? Hell, how many times did we sat back and we just pictured how our life was going to be, only to find 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, our life didn't turn out nothing how we thought. Not a damn day. You know, sure, we may have gotten some things, that was unexpected. We may have even gotten some things that we did expect, but we didn't get them the way we thought we was going to get them. It didn't happen the way we thought it was going to happen. It did, God has a funny sense of humor. God's like, oh, is that what you think? I'm going to give it to you, but I'm not going to give it to you when you want it. I'm going to give it to you when I feel like you're ready. So it may be that we say, okay, well, in 5 years, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, and I'm going to drive this, I'm going to drive that. And then we like, damn, I said that I was going to be driving a Maserati. I can barely keep this car, and I'm driving in a Ford, and I can barely keep it running. I'm having to repair this motherfucker every other damn day. It's always breaking down. Hey, Diesel Gravy. Now the horn won't stop beeping, and I'm not even pressing on it to beep. It just does appear. And then I knew I was going to be living in such and such a house, but I barely able. Okay, we back. Thank you, J. Mike. Yeah, Lightworker William. God's timing is not the same as our timing, for sure. We have to realize we don't actually control anything. So the best thing for us to try and control is how we treat each other. That's the only thing we can try and control. How we treat each other. Because you just don't know who you gonna need later on. And see, somebody's having a moment of clarity right now. Things could not be any clearer than what they are. This person realizing they spent so much time, behind the shadows, trying to take you down, trying to get everybody to hate you. I mean, it was like that show, Everybody Hates Chris, that you was Chris. Everybody, they would spend so much time trying to get everybody to gang up on you, to hate you. You was the worst. You were supposed to be a bad parent, a bad child, a bad friend, a bad mate, lazy, shiftless, can't trust nothing that you say. They spent so much time trying to make it seem like it was you that was doing the most, only to find out you pop out and you be the best, better than the rest. You are the true empress, and you didn't pass the motherfucking test. And this person feel like they can't rest. I digress. How they feel now? Like that song say, how you like me now? Thank you to Cool Mo D. Because see, this person's life is in a fucking shambles. Because of some decisions that they made. On mistreating you. I'm trying to bring you down. I'm trying to make you feel like you was less than. Hey, the blue star, how are you, sweetie? Like you was less than, and like you didn't deserve shit. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. But you deserve just like everybody else You know, and then the fact that you was able to get yourself out of anything and everything that they tried. See, they didn't count on that. They was even trying to turn, your kids away against you. Everybody against you. And now that they did all that, and they realizing, because see, all that negativity went around you, didn't even bother you. It was so far away from you, your hair didn't even blow in the fucking wind. You didn't even feel anything because you stayed in your lane. You concentrated on you. You just kept your eye on the prize. You kept your eye on the sparrow. You just prayed to God. You had your focal point and everything else. And so this person is realizing now they did all this shit. They put all that shit towards you, and it just bounced off the wall and then started coming back on them in real time, in double time, triple time, quadruple time. And then everybody like I said, everybody that they tried to make seem like they was better than you, they finding out they not better. In fact, everybody was waking up like, well, wait a minute, you was speaking negatively. I don't have time to help you. See, they created fucking monsters. They created monsters. And them same monsters don't want nothing to do with them. Because those same monsters that they created are looking at that one like, you the biggest motherfucking monster, and I don't want a monster around me. And they want your compassion. How does that work? Okay, you can have some compassion, but it don't mean that I have to help you. You can have compassion. I'll even pray for you. But that don't mean that I have to actually do anything for you. Because remember, when you said collector, you didn't need to do shit for collector because collector was strong enough to get it on their own. What the hell do you think is going to happen to you? You strong enough to get it on your own. God, I ask that you show this person the way. And if they can't tap into God, that's all on them. Because that's what you had to do. You had to ask God and then listen and wait for God to talk to you, to lead you, to guide you. So this person can do the same. They can exercise their faith. They can get some strength in God. Just like you had to do. Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for you. But now this person, and that's the whole thing. Like picturing somebody, in a movie where that one person, they did all this to try and break the hero down, and they finally at the edge of the cliff, and they fighting with swords and shit, and they try to go in for the kill, only to find out that they lose their footing, and then they topple over the side of the mountain, but the sword gets stuck, and so they just holding on with two hands, and they like, help me, help me, help me, and then the hero comes, and they're like about to put their hand down to help them, and the hero like, wait a minute, this motherfucker was trying to kill me. And then the person, like, they lose their grip, or the sword unlodges from the side of the mountain. They're like, ah, and they free falling down into the abyss. What did you expect? People expect you to always be that angelic person, and you are going to always be that angelic person, but you ain't gonna ever be stupid. Whenever you spend all this time, and everything, let me tell you something. This is a true story. My mother had the same furniture. Well, she did some raw dog shit. When she decided she wanted to leave my father, she took everything. She left him with 2 phone books and a telephone, and that was it. And where she moved from a 4-bedroom house into a 2-bedroom apartment, she took everything and then had to get a storage unit because, like, she didn't even need all that shit, but she did it. Years later, she's sitting on that same furniture. That shit was like 40 years old. So I bought her a brand new living room set. I've never seen that living room set. I mean, I saw it the day I took her to the store, but as far as like when it was in her house, never sat on it, because after she got that, she was going around telling everybody that I wasn't good enough. Okay. Do what you do. You look good doing it. Hey, Earth 2 Eyes. How are you? And it's like it, and people feel things in their heart, but at the same time, I said, you know what? That is quite all right. That's quite all right. See, people take your generosity, your kindness for a weakness, not realizing that, you know what? I was helping her do something that she wasn't able to do for years. She was sitting on the same shit. You may as well just sat on the fucking floor. You don't take people's kindness for a weakness. Somebody's thinking about who they chose to work with as opposed to working with you. They wanted to give you their ass to kiss. Well, I'm good. I don't like how butt smells. I won't be kissing any ass. Mm-mm. But you can go right on ahead. Then they want to act like, oh, well, I want to come to you and I want to be all diplomatic now. What you need to be diplomatic for? You already see who you are. See, people don't realize, or they don't think about this shit. They want to continue to do the same shit. The same bullshit that got them where they were in the first damn place. But see, once they think that, you know what, and it took me a minute, because I was like, damn, why did I even do that? But I said, you know what, I did it because I felt like God wanted me to do that. And so I've been blessed. Confirmation, I've been blessed. But at some point, people like that, in that type of negative energy, will come to find out that all they did was screw themselves yet again. What's the message, Spirit? What you say, Lightworker William? My grandmother used to tell us this: no matter how hard we think that life is for us, someone out there has things a great deal harder than we do. Amen. 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 That's the truth. Somebody's going through a tower right now. you know, we have to allow them to go through that tower. And it's not being mean, it's not being vindictive, it's not being evil. It is just, they have to realize at some point before their last day, they're going to have to come to grips with what they've done. And they're going to have to sit there and think to themselves, was it all worth it? They thought that they was getting so much wish fulfillment in the beginning, but now they see that they really screwed the pooch. Was it all worth it? What did they actually gain by selling their soul to the devil? Bottom of the deck, the emperor. You know, they never expected you to invest in yourself, to be an emperor, to control so much, to have so much responsibility, you know, and you still receiving blessings, still receiving messages, people reaching out to you because you know what, you bless them in a way that that you didn't even know, but they knew. And now the same person who feels stuck, who could be having bad health, they feel awkward trying to reach out, so they're not saying anything. They can't say anything. I feel like the spirit has told them to lay in this, feel this. The way that they wanted you to feel stuck, the way that they wanted you to feel depressed, they are depressed about everything that they chose to say about you. And they know that shit wasn't the truth. They know they were just being low vibrational. They sat there and they called you all types of things. Made up all types of lies about you. You know, they wanted everybody to feel like, oh, we don't like collective. Yuck. Only to find out this is collective. God pouring an abundance of blessings over you. So it don't make a difference who don't like collective, as long as God likes you, loves you. That's all you care about. You don't like me? You're fine. It don't matter. Because now that I'm thinking about it, you ain't helped pay any of my bills anyway. As long as God loves me, I'm good. And they're looking at everything that you created, this life that you worked hard for yourself. Like I said, you are victorious. They had to recalibrate the whole scale for you because you're not even on a scale of 1 to 10. You outdid that. You on a fucking 12. And this person had no idea it was going to be you. They didn't know that God chose you. No idea. They couldn't see it if they tried. They thought that you was always going to be like this fish, small and not growing any bigger than the little bubble that you was in. The little fish, what do they call it? The fish house? The tank, the little fish tank. But they didn't see what was coming in for you. They didn't see what was coming in for you until after you left. And when after you left, that's when everything went a little haywire for them. Not just a little haywire, a big haywire. That's right. Surprise. What's the message, Spirit? What's the message? Mm-hmm. Somebody, it's like they thought that, like I said, those people that they bigged up, they thought that those people was gonna be there forever. Those people ain't. First of all, they don't have it like that anymore. And secondly, they're not welcoming this person. They're like, no, you stay over there, because they realize how dishonest this person is just in how they treated you. Instead of them welcoming you, wanting to be around you, include you, they tried to leave you out in the cold. So of course, if they see that you left somebody else out in the cold, no, you're not bringing that bullshit over to me and mine. No, get back, move, get back. Somebody thought that they was such a great leader, only to find out they wasn't a leader at all. They was leading by their ego. People don't like that. Someone thought that, their life would never turn out the way it's turning out, only to find out all that shit that they said about you came right back around. All that negative shit came right back around. Now they're confused. Because see, like I said, when you was a child, they tried to confuse you only for them to be confused years later. They never thought that everything that you invested in was going to put you in control better than everybody else. Everybody else was sitting here, they still trying to work towards, and you've already made it. How that look? How they feel about you now? What's the message, Spirit? Yes, Brandy. The player got played. They didn't think it was a game, but it's a game now. And see, now they're looking at you and they're like, damn, I fucked up. You got what they want, money. You got what they need, Skrilla. You can do things that they need to have done, help. And now somebody want to travel towards you. You see that stop sign? Now they want to bring that olive branch. I got enough olive trees in the back. We don't need no more olives. Thank you. We got olive oil. We got olive trees. We got olive soap. We got olive lotion. We don't need no more olive nothing. Good. We good. They see you got it all. Somebody, like I said, they want to travel towards you, but you got your defenses up. You like, dude, sis, really? Because see, you remember whenever they was planning on spreading these rumors and lies, ruining all your shit, all your plans, all your relationships. You remember all that? And now they in a position where they need some help. And everybody's sitting here looking at them, swinging upside down, needing something. And everybody's remembering who you are. The earth angel, the one that was going to be strong enough to get it out the mud on their own. And look at you. Abundance. Now somebody they want to be part of the family. They want you to be part of the family. Now they want to work with you. Now they see the value in you. Get out of here. You was always valuable. You was always that star. And somebody else, like I said, they see what you brought to the table. Somebody was listening. They was listening, and they got some proof about everything that you worked hard for. This is the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 12 pentacles. Because, like I said, they had to recalibrate the whole scale. You're not on a scale of 1 to 10. You busted out that shit. You on 12. And you look good doing it. Lilo. All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it right there. Let me get ready. Get on here and bust my straight 8. Let's swing the pendulum. Let's see what the message the Spirit has. So think of your question. Okay. The answer is yes. Yep, the answer is yes. And if you can hear my stomach growling, that's confirmation. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. At Mike Taylor News, I was able to find out. Let me see. You should be able to get back on as Mike Taylor News, okay? But I think the problem was if you're talking about, this girl, that girl, this girl, that girl, I think that's where the moderator draws the line. Okay? All right. Thank you so very much. I love you all. And I hope to see you this evening. Sometimes after work, y'all, my brain is like mush and work, Sasha, eating. I'll lay it down. All right, y'all. I love you so much. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Hopefully this evening. Have a wonderful Tuesday, okay? All right. Thank you. Bye now.